Hey guys, so what we have today is my Stirling Boar brush. Inexpensive little guy at the time. He was a seconds and he is resisting splay. There are a few of the tips that have split, but he is being slow. So I gave him a nice long half an hour soak before today's shave. A couple of things that are new. I have used this blade once. This is one of the Wizamet Spr Iridium Xtr Stnlss, and this may actually be a vintage Wizamet. Here's the thing about these guys. They look exactly the same as the Pole Silvers. Spr Iridium Xtr Stnlss, I believe, is the same notation on the Pole Silvers, and so that's led some people to say that they're the same blade, just a different labeling, that kind of thing. This came from a pack that said it was made in St. Petersburg. There are some that apparently, I don't know whether it was the older ones, but they were made in Poland, and so I think there's some different kinds out there. The label on this one says Spr Iridium on it, and I think there's some other Wizamets out there that say Iridium Spr. They kind of flip-flopped the names. I've shaved with it once. It didn't really stun me. I'm going to try it again because I'm curious. After a few uses, perhaps it smooths out a little bit. We're going to be using Nordost from Barrister and Mann. It is a very orange scent. Think Orange Lifesaver if you're familiar with that. It says smoked orange, but it's very lightly smoked. I couldn't really pick up on the smoked scent when smelling it from the dry puck. Now we're going to put this blade in a new to me razor. This is a vintage Gillette. This one is from the UK and it's a tech. I'm really looking forward to trying it. It does have the oval slots here instead of the triangle shaped ones that the pre-war American tech has. And I can instantly tell a difference in the base plate shape here. This one's kind of more curved than the American version. And let's just show it to you right quick. I'm going to try to do it right side up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you can see the Gillette logo in the bottom, and I believe made in England on the bottom too. And is there anything on the top? Not really. Okay. Most likely brass and construction, just like so many others. We have the central rail here as well as the 4 posts to help with blade alignment, keep that blade perfectly aligned. And this one does have a Gillette logo on the top cap. This, I believe, does have the peaked tech cap where the bottom edge of the top cap here comes to a peak right in the center instead of just being curved. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a dry throat. So let's take that Wizamet. It is 2 variables. This blade that I don't really have a good knowledge of how it works for me yet, and then this razor, but I am just so confident this razor is going to be good. Common question around is, how do you load a sample? Well, these tiny little cups are definitely not meant for you to load with a brush like normal. You need to get some of it out. And so, in the absence of a 1/4 teaspoon measure, I just use my thumbnail, and then you can kind of gather it up and do a tiny little ball there, and something about that size, roughly the size of an almond, is a good start off point. If you have a 1/4 teaspoon measure, that's even better, because Barrister and Mann often gives me 4 passes or 5 passes with a 1/4 teaspoon, and many soaps 1/4 teaspoon is a good measure, or it could be a little bit overboard, in which case you can then use a little bit less next time and get a lot of uses out of your samples. So yeah, it's just a straight orange scent that is fresh and delightful, sweet, very sweet. And I am now spreading that into the bottom of my lather bowl. And this is kind of a soft soap, and so I am making sure that it's all smeared into the bottom instead of having loose chunks. We don't want those to come loose and just float around unmerged, unintegrated. And there we go. All right. And it won't look like much if you're new. It won't look like a whole lot of product in the bottom, but probably be just fine. All right, we are ready. I've got kind of a dry throat, so I got a cup to help me out. Pardon me there. Throw a little water on my face. To soften up my whiskers. We'll start mixing up the lather. Now, some people do a pre-shave with maybe a glycerin soap. I've heard that's a very good idea. Some people use pre-shave oils. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Feel free to try it. It can possibly gum up your brush and razor. For me, I've tried it and it slowed down. It slowed down and gave some drag to my razor, so I definitely didn't continue that. I've got oily skin anyway, so I didn't need any help in that regard. Yeah, so that nice fresh orange is just coming up to my nose. Sweet, fresh orange scent. Not getting any smoked nature to it. I usually like smoked things, and so if it had a little bit more smoke in the scent, I'd probably be happy with that. But Will, the maker, was very clear that it was a very lightly smoked portion of the scent. So this brush, very reticent to break in. He's definitely not comfortable. He's very, not super comfortable, not soft at all, but he is very scrubby. He's not scritchy or scratchy anymore, but he is definitely a scrubby bugger. And so if I had a razor that I knew was going to test my skin with perhaps a little too much aggression, I would not choose this brush. Got a little case of hat hair tonight, so sorry about that, but we driving. I just usually wear a hat when we're traveling. And no doubt this Nordost is in the Excelsior base from Barrister and Mann. A very good base from them. And as you can see, it's lathering up very nicely on its way. The water here is pretty soft. Don't believe it's nearly as hard as the water I have at my home. I can feel the firmness and the density in this brush. So it looks like a small little handle online, and it is, you get it, and it's actually kind of a medium-sized handle. Definitely bigger than it looks online, to me at least. And a lot of bristles in this brush. I dearly look forward to when this breaks in, because if these guys split and get super soft and still have this nice backbone which keeps those ultra soft tips focused at your face, that's going to give a great feel. It's just not there yet. It's not supposed to be. It's a bore. That's the way things go. Now my Smogs that I'm bringing up at the same time as this one, this is kind of in my Borathon series. This is the 22nd use, I believe, and all the other brushes are at a similar stage. The Smogs are much softer, much less dense, much easier to splay on your face. Alright, this looks pretty good. I don't think I'm going to add any more water, but let's just take a feel. Yeah, nice slickness. I don't think I want to go any more with the water. It's not super buttery, slick, creamy, but I know that it will work really well, give my face some good protection. So now that we've got that, and we don't have a ton of it in the bowl, but I'm confident that will be enough to do the job. A little bit more water on my face, and 24 hours of beard growth is what we're going to be shaving on today. Alright, let's see how this... I have used Excelsior, but not a lot. Really been playing around with the Declaration Grooming bases lately. Bison and Icarus, and the newest Milk Steak, of course, when I did the puzzle contest, which I got not a single note guessed properly. There was vanilla in it, and I declare the vanilla really seemed more like tonka bean. And there were definitely some other guys who thought the same thing. The first time I shaved with it, I did say vanilla, and I wrote that down. One that and so in a way, there were 4 notes to the soap, and I got 0 of them right, but 3 of them, as I recall, were at least within the right family of scents, and so I don't, feel too bad. But the trick one that I don't think I would ever have gotten was a little bit of rosemary. I'm not as much of a fan, but it worked really well in that scent with all those smooth ingredients. It worked nicely. Now this has weakened a little bit on my face here. One thing we could try, this is a stiff brush. What if we got in there and just hoked it out anyway? Let's just see what happens now. See if it adds a little bit of substance to the lather here. Maybe I didn't get in there and get very much. I don't think I did. That's all right. Let's get a little bit more from the bowl here. It's definitely well hydrated. Maybe too much so, but it'll work just fine. Also, the oils from my face probably killing the lather just a little bit, since I use this first pass as my pre-shave routine. All right, so let's test out this tech from the UK. I've also got in this same shipment a Canadian tech. Looking forward to trying that one too. This shaves so well. It's consistent. It's just gliding through the whiskers. I don't really feel the blade. I do have the sensation of the hairs being cut, but I don't feel the edge of the blade. This definitely, at least with this blade in it, beats out the American techs. The English Gillettes I've just so often found, I don't know, they just maybe had different standards, or maybe the the audience was just different, and so such smoothness while still cutting well is just so often the standard. All right. The scent on this is not super strong, so that's a relief for some of you guys who might be concerned about a overwhelming orange scent that is just too much. I think it's just right. Go back and get a little bit more lather. Nothing too much changing with this brush. Still a massagey, scrubby feel. There we go. You know what I did? I grabbed just a touch of a little bit more soap. Rubbed it around on my face a little bit. Put it on the end of my brush. I just picked it up with my pinky fingernail just to add a little bit more creaminess to the soap, and it has worked nicely. I don't like it when the soap flies around. That's just me. Some people are fine with that. Some people, that's just the way they like their lather. They like their lather so sloppy wet because they like the slickness that it gives. And some soaps just aren't quality enough to be a good lather, a good protective lather when they are that wet. So sometimes that's a trademark of a good soap when it can do that. Now cross grain, and I just feel like this is going to be a breeze. Well, whatever razor I used this Wizamet in before and wasn't impressed, it was different than this razor. I am getting the feel of the shaving and the cutting, and maybe a little bit of blade feel now that first pass is gone, but it's very consistent, very easy going. Oh, feel that slickness. That's just tremendous. Nice protection from this soap, even though it's a little too wet. Yeah, that feels great. Kind of re-lather and go in and touch up areas. Yeah. Well, there are good reasons why Will chose and went with the Excelsior base. You know, I'm sure he was testing stuff out and trying all kinds of different options. Slick. Very slick. Nourishing to your face. Lots of good reasons that this is a good soap base. And let me rinse. And I've already got a great cut in my trouble spot area, meaning a nice close cut. And so I'm super happy already. So let's lay down that third pass. It's really kind of not even needed. Got just enough lather to do it. Don't even need to do really a scrub and end up dropping some lather. Just kind of use the painting method here to lay it down. Doesn't need to be thick. And the rinse after that second pass, now that the oils had been cleaned off my face, was luxurious and slick and creamy. Felt great. So this is Nordost, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And orange. It's a seasonal, released by Barrister and Mann in the fall winter zone of 2019. All right, now cross grain again. with this razor, I might even be able to go against the grain in some parts of my face if I wanted to. Hairs on my neck flow this way and then taper down. Look at all this mess here. And so I am on my neck area mainly doing variations on a cross grain pass, because to follow the grain actually means I'm shaving over kind of a concave, and you can see how the corners touch, but then the middle right here does not touch. And so I have to do some variations to be able to get the blade into that hollow. And I'm on the third pass now, so I'm going to just do a little cleanup like that. So this is just a super consistent, very tightly well held blade in this head, and that just inspires a lot of confidence and good cutting. Not very much audio because it's clamping down on it really good, close to the edge of the blade. Looks great, feels good. I don't feel any irritation or anything like that. So that's a great shave. Very close, comfortable. I don't have any issues at all with my face. I'll go ahead and use an alcohol splash. This is L&L Grooming. Now it's called Declaration Grooming. This was made for the Damn Fine Shave website, and this is the 2017 edition of an LE made for them. And it's a kind of a smooth scent that I thought might go well with the Nordost. A little bit of stinging because of the alcohol. Yeah, I think that's pretty conducive. Works well. It's got a little bit of menthol to it. Maybe I won't want to use this before I go to bed. Sometimes I have a little bit of a reaction. It feels more like burning than cooling with menthol. That's just me. So 2 teaspoons of water for roughly an almond-sized amount, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. It looks like a reasonable guess as to how much I used. I didn't bring my teaspoon with me. Excellent lather, as always, with Excelsior. The fumes and the alcohol is kind of, have a dry throat anyway, so those two are making a bad combination. But just a light orange scent. I could definitely see enjoying this scent on a regular basis. I'm glad he made it. Sapone de Paolo is a soap company that has made an arancino or something like that, an orange scent, for quite a while. That performs pretty well. This one probably has a better performance to it, but they have similar smells. And one might be cheaper than the other if you're looking around. I don't even know if Sapone de Paolo is still doing their thing or not. Maybe leather, tobacco. What am I smelling with this AS? The menthol and the alcohol are kind of getting in my way of perceiving it very well. All right, well, I'm just super happy with the UK tech. This is the fat handle. There's a ball end handle that is thinner and then has a little ball at the end. This one is hollow and the other one is solid. And so even though I like the size and the width of this one, I like the weight often of the other one because it gives you a little bit more ballast toward this end of the razor. But I love the look of this handle, and this one was in great condition, and I'm just especially proud to have grabbed this guy, and I'll be using him for a nice long time. He supports the blade right up to maybe 3 millimeters on the bottom, and right up on the blade, probably. No, I was going to say in the middle, but not really. So I give this guy a good rinsing out, stow him away, and then maybe tomorrow we'll do the Canadian tech, see if we can tell the difference. We've got some black ship grooming samples, as well as a bufflehead velvet ditch. That might be the one I use tomorrow. And I've got a Viking soaps. That's an inexpensive soap that's kind of along the level of Stirling, perhaps, and got some interesting scents there. Got one of those to try as well. We'll see what just kind of pops up into my head when I pick stuff tomorrow. All right, well, I'm glad to put another use on this Stirling brush. I want to get this guy aged up and see if we can get him toward the comfort zone. All right. There we go. I think we're good. Man, that menthol is still kind of burning my face. I don't like it. Not my thing. So I might just have to sell this splash after all, even though I may actually kind of really like the scent. I really kind of do. Dang it. Oh well. Okay. Well, this is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I sure hope there's been something in this video that has helped you out. And we're good. You take care. Good night.